Checking. Hey guys, so if you're watching me, we are live, but we hadn't exactly started going live as of yet in terms of recording our show. I have Rosemarie Pretty. I don't know why I'm gonna call you Pretty because you are beautiful. Let me look up something real quick because this thing says I can bring in a video. So I'm trying out a bunch of stuff as we're getting ready to record our show. What was the name of that? Board promo. Where did it go? Board promo. Yeah. Nope. Board. BOR. There it is. Open. Aha! There it is right there. Okay, guys, thank you for watching. I have Rosemarie Pretty from Pretty Law Firm. So we're going to be talking about estate planning, probate, all different types of things that I don't know anything about, but we all need. We really need. So those of you who are watching me by way of social media, let me introduce you to her. Let's put her right there. Boom, look at her. Isn't she beautiful? Hello. Thank you so much for being on my show. I appreciate you.
Thank you for inviting me.
All right. So we're going to take 2 breaks and I will let you know, you'll be able to hear everything that I hear. Okay. So Mark, whenever you're ready, we'll just go right into it. And let me get to where I was. Bam. Whenever you're ready.
You are now tuned in to Today with Pastor Jay on WNZF News Radio, where we discuss inspiring and informative news. And now here's your host, Pastor Jerlyn Denny.
Good morning, good morning. Wake up and good morning. It is a good and a great day to be alive. And guess what? It's a good day to do some planning. It is. And my guest this morning is Rosemarie Pretty from Pretty Law Firm. And she's going to talk to us about just how we can do that, to do some estate planning, talk about some probate, wills. Who wants to talk about that? So I want to thank you, Rosemarie, for joining me this morning. Good morning. How are you?
Thank you. Good to see you.
Listen, you know what I say? It's good to be seen, best to be seen, and not viewed. So let me ask you a question.
You're too pretty not to be viewed.
Yeah, well, when I think about being viewed, I think about being in a casket somewhere. No one likes to think about death, right? Everybody wants to live and be alive, and there's been quite a bit of death. Not just nationally, but worldwide when it comes to the COVID-19 vaccine. And people have had to deal with things that they never thought about sooner than later, right? Would you say so?
Yes. I think we're going even further back. We're not talking even about passing away, but planning before. COVID is prompting people to have to be worried about medical care, going into the hospital, being isolated, not being able to talk to your family, not being able to visit family and parents in a nursing home, not knowing what's going on and being hands-on. So all of a sudden people are realizing, I have no authority. I have no authority to find out what they're giving medication they're giving to my mom. I have no authority to be able to look at medical records or to make critical decisions. And that has startled people more now than ever before, because you can't sit with your loved one and find out what's going on. You gotta.
Right. Okay. I just was motioning to Mark because you're sounding great, but I can't hear you that well. Let's test your microphone again. Rosemarie, can you say something?
Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, it's like it's kind of echoing, going in and out. What do you think it is, Mark? It's acoustics, you think? Okay.
Can you hear me okay now?
Yes, I can. Yeah, that's actually better. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go back in. So, Rosemarie, so how long have you been practicing law? And has this always been your area, your field of expertise?
So I've been practicing 25 years.
Oh, wow. 25 years. That's a long time.
Yeah. So the years have flown by. And I used to practice in Michigan, outside of Detroit, and then we moved here because of the Navy. So I love Floored up in here. I feel like this is home.
Nice. So how long have you been in Florida?
About 23 years.
Oh, wow. Okay. Very nice.
Mm-hmm.
So, estate planning, probate law, all this stuff that's going on. No one likes to think about death. Like I said, it's best to be seen and not viewed. No one wants to be viewed in a casket, but it is those things that we must think about. There's a couple of things that's sure in life. And people used to say is death and taxes. But while we are living, and you think about people with COVID-19, you're not able to be there for your loved ones while they're in the hospital. I mean, what part of that would you say, or do we have any rights at all? Let's just talk about that. Do we have any rights at all when it comes to our family being in a hospital, or because of the sickness and things that are going on that we just completely shut out? We have no rights?
Really? You don't unless the person delegates it to you.
Okay. So what kind of delegation of rights are you talking about?
So if you, for example, are going into the hospital, you're going into surgery, typically more and more the hospitals are asking, do you have a healthcare surrogate? Do you have a living will? And they'll create a very simplistic version of it. But the point is, who do they talk to when you are not able to speak for yourself as far as your medical care? And not just that, but if you want, for example, your husband to be on top of everything, know what's going on while you're in surgery, or if you're having any complications, he has no right just as a spouse to look at your medical records, believe it or not. You have to delegate authority to him. And a lot of people can't believe that.
So people think because you're married, oh, my husband, my wife, my spouse will speak for me, but that's not necessarily the case.
No, it's not supposed to. So if you have, if you're taking care of your mom and she's in a nursing home, or you're wanting your spouse or your child, your adult child to make decisions for you if you can't, and let's say the facility is being gracious about it and they're letting you down without any official authority, they can just shut that door whenever they want. And it may be too late in terms of you not being able to delegate the authority because you have medical, you're under some kind of incapacity from, again, surgery or illness or whatever. So best time to do it is when you are competent and healthy to write up full documents, healthcare surrogate, to delegate power to your loved one to make decisions if you can't. And then the living will is a little more, people are familiar with it now, and especially if you've been in Florida.
Okay, hold on just one moment, because I'm having a horrible time hearing you, which means on the radio, this is going to sound really bad. We might have to go back to your cell phone because the microphone on your computer just is not picking up your voice that well.
So if you give me a second, I can see if I could switch microphones.
Okay. Because this is awesome conversation, and I know people that are watching and those that's listening really want to listen to that. So while we're doing that, I'm going to, while she's figured out that microphone, I am going to see if I can embed a video. So y'all ready for this? This is a video from one of my new sponsors. Let's see if I can get it there. Maybe. Oh well, I thought I had it. That's what I get for trying something. Oh well. I thought I had it. I really did. See if we can get it to open. Okay, let's try it one more time. Nope. Shucks. I was going to try something new and it didn't work. Oh well. Thought I was anyway. It didn't work. Oh well. Anyway. All right, you ready to try that again? Rosemary, let's hear you now. No, I cannot hear you at all now. Yeah, you're completely muted now. And this is such good conversation. Nope, still can't hear you. Nope. Cannot hear you. Yeah. You gonna use your cell phone? Okay. You can call in on your cell phone. You can stay logged in. It'll just come in as another thing. Oh, maybe that's what we can do, Mark. Use her cell phone as the microphone. Just stay on this one, Rosemary. Don't close out. And then just go ahead and log in on your cell phone and let's see what happens. We'll try something else. Maybe the microphone on your cell phone will pick up your voice a little bit better. It'll look like that on the screen, but for the radio, which that's more concerning, we'll be able to hear her. As soon as you log in, then I'll see you. Oh, I see you right there. Hold on. Okay, now say something.
So is that better?
Say that. Hold it up to you.
Is that better?
Yes. Okay, so let me mute this one. All right, so hold it up to you because that's going to be your microphone.
Okay.
That's way better.
Way better.
Oh yeah, when you say so, Mark. Oh yeah, I don't want people to say I'm just not going to tune into this because it's messed up. All right, so how much time was I in, Mark? About 6 minutes in. All right. Do you remember what we talked about last? We were talking about being in the hospital and making sure someone has the advanced directives. Is that what it's called?
Well, advanced directives in Florida consist of 4 documents.
Are you serious? Okay. All right. So I'm going to segue into that. All right. So, Rosemary, let's talk about advanced directives because we're in the hospital. We don't know what we're doing. We thought our spouse had something and they didn't have anything. And people are not supposed, the healthcare professionals aren't really supposed to discuss our medical care without types of things. What are advanced directives?
So advanced directives are documents that I'm sorry, I'm getting some they're documents that an individual would use to delegate authority to someone else for either medical care or to pay their bills, handle financial affairs, pursue any claims for their behalf.
And you do all of these directives there at your law firm?
Yeah, so it's typically part of an estate plan. So when people think of estate planning, they only think of after I pass away.
Who's going to get my stuff? That's what I want to know. Who's going to get You're laughing, but that's the only thing people think about. Hey, when I'm gone, who's going to get my stuff? Who's going to fight over my stuff? Because we like to fight over stuff.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. And there's somebody who cares about what happens after they leave in terms of they don't want to have their family fighting. They don't want court costs or attorneys to suck up all the assets. You can do so much planning on the front end that people will be so grateful. They'll come to me as an attorney and say, I cannot believe they organized everything so I don't have to go through years of probate.
Right. Let's talk about probate because people don't understand what probate is. And so how do a person go in probate? Let's get down to the basics. I know I have some listeners and some viewers that are going, oh, I know all this, but there are several people who know nothing about probate.
So typically what probate means is a court process where the judge confirms the validity of a will. So, or if the person doesn't have a will, it'll trigger intestate laws. So most, I don't want to say most people, but you don't have to go to probate. You don't. Just simply because you pass away with a will doesn't mean that you have to go to probate. What that means is if you pass away with assets in your own name alone, you didn't name a beneficiary, you don't have it jointly owned with anyone, that is when the court has to determine who gets property. So the will is a guide of who the person who passed away wants, but it has to be proven that it's valid, and there's certain structure and formalities that need to be in place.
And let me tell you, I know over the past few years, several people who had a family member die. Like maybe they had power of attorney when they were alive, but a power of attorney ends when the person dies. Most people don't know that. And I had to learn that being in ministry, just guiding people through certain things. They didn't have access to bank accounts, didn't have access to anything once the person died, because that power of attorney was just null and void. If they weren't joint on bank accounts, that was it.
That's right. So
And it's a frightening thing when you're used to doing stuff on someone's behalf when they're alive. But that power of attorney does not carry over when the person is dead. It does not. So if you're married or if you are taking care of someone and you're used to having access to those funds, all that stuff ends when someone passes on. So we really need to start thinking out beyond today and beyond tomorrow. No one wants to think about that. I know I do. I make sure my husband's on everything I have, whether he knows it or not. His name is on everything I own, every credit card, every bank account, every asset, everything I have. His name is on it as co-owner or something. And I did that because I saw so many people who were having a spouse or a partner or someone pass away and they were stuck. Everything had to be turned over to the court. And it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get it either.
Right. And it's extended over quite a period of time. And if people need immediate access to cash, or they think that they have the right to live somewhere, that may not be the case.
Oh, wow. All right. Well, we got to take a break. We're going to talk about that and some more when we come back. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You are listening to Today with Pastor Jay. Well, the cell phone is working better as a microphone, so just make sure you try not to move around to keep it consistent so we can get this good for radio.
I just keep hearing an echo, and I can't tell where it's coming from.
Mute your computer. No, because if you mute your computer, then you can't hear me. What does she need to do?
It's really hard.
Do you have a Bluetooth by chance?
Mm-hmm.
We can't hear the echo, but I know it's probably irritating you.
Yeah, every time I say a word, it repeats.
How about if you use a Bluetooth on your end?
I don't know. You think if I give me a second?
Okay.
Can you still hear me?
Yep. I can hear you.
Well, I'll just have to turn it down so I don't hear it back. Is that good?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Maybe I'm trying to think.
I should have ran through this before.
Yeah, I should. This is new. This platform is new to me, so I'm just starting to kind of get used to the bugs out. We just figured out one part yesterday. So it's not you. We just having to figure this out.
It's really clear.
Yeah, it's very clear. Because right now we are streaming on 4 different platforms on social media. So this is my behind the scenes. So people get to see this and then they'll hear it on the radio. But I just want to make sure the radio is clear because then it goes to my podcast.
Wonderful.
All right. So I'm sorry you have an echo. I'm trying to guess what it could be.
So it's coming from the phone. So I don't know. I'm clicking on my computer to see if I can.
Okay, how about you do this? Mute your computer?
That's what I did.
But then she has her cell phone, though, because she's logged in on her cell phone.
I don't know what's echoing.
Yeah, she has her phone speaker. So mute your computer. Yeah, my voice should be coming out your phone speaker. Try that. Let me see if that works.
Okay.
If you mute your computer and just use your phone speaker, that's better, isn't it?
Well, I have been muting it. I do not know how this is doing it.
Yeah. So as long as maybe put your cell on speakerphone and listen to me through your cell phone and completely mute your computer, because I'm just using your computer for your video right now.
I did. It is muted.
Okay, and it's still echoing?
Mm-hmm.
Huh.
I don't know what.
All right, take it off of speaker and put it up to your phone and just like you're on a phone call. See how that works. And just put it up to your ear and do it that way. Maybe that'll make a difference. Hey guys, I appreciate you watching. We are going through this. This is what you call behind the scenes. And as we are getting through all the technical issues on how I stream live and do all of that. All right. So put it up to your ear.
I'm gonna try to focus because I can't figure it out.
You can't figure it out? Okay.
That's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Okay. All right. When we come back in, we're going to talk about asset protection.
Okay.
Okay. Because you do all these things, right? I went on your website.
Did
Can you tell?
Well, I'm telling you. So I don't know if. I mean, you'd have to ask me questions about asset protection. People typically want to talk about asset protection when they have, when they're high risk people or they have a lot of assets.
Oh, yeah. I'm just going to talk about it briefly. And I think I'm funny, so I'm going to crack a joke. So we'll go from that. And then I want to talk about, the estate planning and what the process is, how much it costs, how do we pay, where you're located, all that other kind of good stuff. Okay. But the reason why I want to talk about asset planning, because I don't know anything about it. And I want to crack a joke. Okay. You ready?
Problem.
All right. We're going to go back in. Welcome back. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay, and I have Rose Marie Preddy from Preddy Law Firm, and you're located where?
I am in the Julington Creek area. I am in Jacksonville, but just next to the Julington Creek Bridge.
Okay. All right. So let's talk a little about asset planning, because I have this running joke that says if someone wants me to have something, or if they stole my identity, they'd give it back and add $5 to it so I'd have something. So I don't consider myself, a lot of people don't think they have assets, and then they die and they realize they have all this stuff. So how do you protect what you have?
So in terms of being sued?
Oh, yeah. Being sued, protect your home, your car, whatever it is.
Right. So the wonderful thing about living in Florida, which is why you had Michael Jackson and O.J. Simpson and anyone that had big judgments against them.
Right.
Florida has their home is a protected asset from creditors.
Ooh.
So nobody can touch your home, no matter what.
I like that.
Yes. So that is probably one of the biggest benefits that the Florida Constitution will offer someone for estate planning purposes. So your home is a protected asset. Did you say a truck or a car? That's a protected asset.
Is that a protected asset?
Mm-hmm.
I like this. What else is protected? Look, I need to get some of these assets that's protected. But what's not protected? What's not a protected asset? Are bank accounts and all these things open to creditors?
Yep.
Wow.
Even your salary.
Your salary? Now, what if, like on a bank account, you have a co-owner on there? Is that protected or no?
So it may be, there's two ways to look at it. It may be that 50% is protected. So if you have a judgment against you and you have 10,000, 5,000 would be exposed to the creditors. On the other hand, if the creditors are being nasty, they're going to try to prove that you're the only one who manages the account.
Oh, so we really got to get together. And when I say we, I'm talking about America. Those of us that are in Flagler County, that's in the surrounding area, St. John's, Volusia, Putnam. I mean, we can just keep going on Duval. We really need to call Preddy Law Firm and get an appointment with Rose Marie so we can sit down and do this whole estate planning. So how does it start? Another thing that people don't think about is guardianship. They just automatically think someone's going to take their children.
Right. Well, are you going to leave it to a judge to make a decision?
No, I don't want to do that.
Right. And they're going to get the recommendation of DCF. I mean, do you really want them to make that decision? So to avoid that, you would set up documents that make it clear who you would want guardian of a minor child or a disabled adult. So for an adult, if there are no advance directives,
Mm-hmm.
so you did not, before your incapacity, you did not delegate authority by signing those documents we just talked about, the court would have to appoint a guardian. And so you can sign a document called a pre-need guardian to appoint a guardian. But so there's a couple of ways. You would put it in your will or a standalone document, who you want to be your guardian or who you want to be guardian of your children. Now, natural guardians have priority. So what's a natural guardian? That's a parent. So if you have a child from a father who's had no involvement and you pass away, that father has priority.
So they could just step up. So if there was an aunt or a grandmother or someone helping you with the child all along and you pass away, you know, somebody that's never been in their life have priority over guardianship of your child. A lot of times people don't think about things like this, and you want to protect your family. You want to protect your assets. So where do we start? We start with a will. Do we start with just sitting down and just let's go over our entire estate? What's the first step for us?
So typically for example, I know a lot of other estate plan attorneys, they'll give a free consult.
Okay.
And typically we tell them to bring a rough inventory of your assets and the names and address of your loved ones. And so we'll just go over, tell me about your family dynamic. So typically I'll hear all the drama, but I need to hear it because I need to know, who do you want to take care of? Who's going to take care of you? What people will give us trouble and maybe try to bust up your plan because they have other motives. So I get all that family and drama on the front end. And
then you get all that stuff. You get the drama. I get too.
I get the drama. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I need to know how many kids and where are they? And does your wife know about those kids?
That is true. You know what? That is absolutely correct, because you need to know all that stuff so you can protect the assets and find out exactly where people want things to go.
Well, people come up out of the blue, right? They come up and they hadn't talked to them since, in 30 years. And all of a sudden they're like, I want my share. And who are you? Well, a child that he never acknowledged. I mean, that's a little drama, but it's pretty common, unfortunately.
I heard of someone who didn't have any children. That's another thing that people forget. You don't have children. Let's say your mom and dad are gone, you don't have children, and then you have a brother or a sister, and then you die. And the next thing you know, there's maybe 2 or 3 other brothers and sisters that you didn't even think about or you hadn't had contact with. And they all of a sudden pop up and say, I want my share.
Right. And if they're half, even if you've never met them before, you had no idea. If they're half blood related, they get half of the share that like your full sibling would get.
Uh-oh. So when Papa was a Rolling Stone and he had 2 or 3 babies on the side or something along those lines that you have never met. Oh, wow.
Yeah, it
that can happen.
So what you have to do in a will is specifically disinherit them. So that's why I'm always like, you got to confess now, because you have to disinherit them or else they have a right. So there's this concept under the law. It's a long term, but the idea is you forgot about the child. And so unless you specifically name them and disinherit them, any kid that, I mean, it sounds like a little Jerry Springer, but it happens.
I was getting ready to say, you sounded like a little Jerry Springer there. So have you had any of these exciting moments in your career? Where people, or Jerry Springer moments, I should call them.
I hate to say it, but more, I mean, you offer pastoral counseling. People can live double
This is
lives.
this is why I don't watch drama movies, because I live in counsel drama all day long. So I'm always watching action movies. But yeah, it is one of those things that you get to see. How about the children you don't know about? Do they still get something? Okay, you're gone, you're dead and gone, and then someone pop up and go, Mama said that was my daddy.
Yep.
So they still can come with a claim?
Yep.
Even if you didn't know. Wow.
Oh, yeah. So that's why.
Is there any way to write something in the will? I want to disinherit all these children I didn't know about. Can you put like a blanket clause in there or no? Or you have to have no one by name?
I've tried to do that, but you really need to specifically call them out. Because like I said, there's a concept under the law that, oh, you forgot your wife, you had a wife, or oh, you forgot you had a child. So they automatically bring them back in.
Wow. How, let me ask you a question. What if a man remarries? Well, he marries and he still has the first wife. You know, I'm sure you've seen this. I'm talking about some Jerry Springer stuff right here. Is the new wife entitled to all his stuff, or is it the old wife who's really the first wife that married? I see, I'm talking Jerry Springer now. Do you understand me? He never got a divorce from the first wife, or she never got a divorce from the first husband, and she remarried.
Oh, well, I don't see that too much.
So who has the final authority and say? I know I'm doing some Jerry Springer right now, but this stuff happens. I deal with stuff like this all day long.
So I mean, you can't be married.
You're not supposed to be
at the same time. So the second spouse would really not
get anything.
Well, they would not receive the rights, the assets under the rights of a spouse. So the spouse has the right, no matter what, to be able to live in the home. So if the husband was in a bad mood and he did a will and transferred it to someone else, his home, that wouldn't be enforceable. The spouse has the right to live in the home the rest of her life, or his life.
Wow. That's something else. Well, we've got to take a break. Don't go anywhere. Don't touch that dial. You're listening to Today with Pastor Jay. This is something else.
Is it interesting?
It is Jerry Springer. This is interesting.
I mean, you know your audience. I mean, if you want to talk about what do you do if you own a business, because I'm sure this.
Oh yeah, that's another one. We've got a few minutes when we come back. We'll talk about what do we do when you own a business, because that's another area too. And I want to give out your phone number. What's a good phone number for you?
It's 904-665-0005.
And that's your office number. Okay, yep, I see it right here. And it's prettylaw.com.
And you can say that I'm going to open up an office in Volusia too.
Okay, no problem. So those are listening. Okay. All right, and we'll have you back on the show. And when you come this way, we'll have you in the studio. And then we'll do the show again, and we'll get into some more. I mean, because it's a very short show, so this would be kind of cool. All right. Welcome back. Want to give a shout out and a thank you to Steve Verrier, theFloridaMortgageCenter.com. Listen, before you buy a house, you call Steve, the money man, and he will hook you up. And if you're looking for that perfect play in the stock market, go to tradecoaches.org. They will help you out. Thank you for sponsoring Today with Pastor Jay. So, Rosemarie, we just went through some Jerry Springer stuff, probably completely confused my listeners, my viewers, and all that other jazz. But this is what happens. No one thinks about this. These are the things that happen. But what happens if you own a business? Who gets the business? The children, the spouse, the business partner?
Well, most people that come in with a business, I think the first thing they're worried about is asset protection. You brought that up before. So if they're renting out homes, they want to be sure that if someone slips and falls or sues them or something bad is happening in the rental home, typically we'll give them advice to set up an LLC or something where there's some asset protection there. So when you set up an LLC, the ownership is one individual, and you can't name a beneficiary like you could for an IRA or bank account. So typically we will recommend that they set up a trust, and a trust is basically another form of ownership that you have total control over, but it never dies. It just passes on to the next person that you want to be in control. But if you have a small business, let's just say like for example, attorneys typically don't own anything of value except their skill, right? Like, I don't have widgets, I don't have a factory. I may own a building, but so typically it'll just be a bank account. So for example, the business you run, you may have a bank account that's in the name of your company. I highly encourage you to maybe add your husband as a signer.
I'm telling you right now, my husband is on everything I had. He's on businesses that he don't even know he's on. And he's on us. He's not just a signer. He's on the corporation. Whether he he's not in ministry and he's on that corporation. So there it is. I did do that.
Right. So typically you'll have a Bank of America account and you'll be a consultant, or you'll be, receive money for whatever business you do, and you don't even think about it, that you'll always be able to access it. But one day you may not be able to access that bank account.
That's true.
And if you don't have a spouse, pick the bookkeeper, someone that you really, really trust to be able to access the funds if needed.
Well, I appreciate that. And I want to give a phone number to everyone who's listening. It's 904-665-0005. You can call her or go to her website, prettylaw.com. She's also going to be opening an office in Volusia. So you're going to have it all the way from Duval to Volusia County and all these other surrounding counties. So excited. And when you get closer, and I'll see you tomorrow, in fact, but we'll have you in the studio and we'll go through this a little bit more. People need to call you while they're alive. This isn't about just dying. It's about protecting your assets while you're alive. And what happens when you're not here? You don't want your loved ones fighting over your stuff. You don't want a Jerry Springer thing. At least I don't want a Jerry Springer thing to happen. I want that stuff to happen when I'm alive. I don't want Jerry Springer while I'm dead. You're laughing. Look, I want, because there's going to be action. See, it'll be comical. But really, we want to protect our loved ones and protect our assets. And we do not want anyone feeling left out. Because the great thing about talking to you, when you say, give me all the drama, you will think of family members and stuff that you have forgotten about and stuff that you may want to do, or maybe organizations like Geraldine Ministries you want to donate to when you go, people, you think about me now, but you might say, hey, I might want to leave Geraldine Ministries something when I'm gone. So that would be kind of cool. We'll take it, won't we?
Yep.
Yep. Well, thank you so much, Rosemarie, and thank you for your time. It's been awesome. It's been great. And we'll have you back on the show in probably about 3 or 4 weeks. God bless you.
That's great. We'll see you tomorrow.
All right, guys, you know what I say? Yesterday's gone. Tomorrow's not promised. What are you going to do today? Today, you're going to go to Pretty Law. That's PREDDY law.com, or call 904-665-0005 and ask for Rosemarie to protect all your stuff. God bless you. Have a great day. That was a serious commercial.
How much do I owe you? I didn't expect that.
That's okay. But we can talk about you sponsoring my radio show, though, and it will give you an ad.
Hey, I'm happy to. Where's the scope of your show?
Flagler County, parts of St. John's, parts of Volusia, and parts of Putnam. That's correct, right, Mark? Yeah.
And I've listened to some, but do you have like an overall theme of stuff that you try to cover?
I talk about everything. I try to do just like, I try to talk about everything. That way it appeals to a broader audience. But I do, what do you call it? Try to stay local as much